Hey everyone, thank you for checking in. It's so good to meet with you like this. Just yesterday, um, I was with some men, and one of the men gave a whole bunch of ideas about how to get people into church, and just all kinds of different plans and programs and so forth. And you know what? Nothing he said related to Jesus. And he's a good man. It's just that oftentimes we forget who the lead pastor is, and that's why I wrote this book. That's why I'm doing these videos, and to give everybody who watches hope that Jesus is alive, he's resurrected from the dead, he's alive and well, he pours his life into his church and promised, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." We're not going through these things just to have something to do or something novel to say, but I believe in all the busyness of our churches with all good intentions. We don't know who Jesus is, and we leave him behind and launch out to do it on our own. That's why we do this, and we're really excited when you join us. We're making a playlist, as you well know, so that we can send the message on ahead and people can check in for years to come to this whole idea of Jesus Christ obviously present and actively in charge. And in this section, we're putting prayer in its place. I say this a lot. There is no reason in this world why we can't have spirit-filled, enjoyable prayer meetings. I mean, we'll work on everything else with the kids program. We'll work on um, youth outreaches and all kinds of interesting things to bring people to us. But somehow we lose our creativity and our thought when it comes to having a live prayer meeting. So these are ideas from one chapter in this book on how to put prayer in its place, make it a vital part of your ministry, and then watch Jesus work through answered prayer. And today we want to just discuss the whole idea of praying for the inner man first. Now listen to this incredible word from the Apostle Paul in Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 14. Listen to this. "For this reason, I bow my knees to the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, from whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named." Now listen, "that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might through his Spirit in the inner man." Wow, is that great or what? And, the honest truth is, I think if we really stop and look at life and we look at the Bible, we realize that we live our lives from the inside out. In fact, I have a verse here in this chapter from Proverbs 18:14. Listen to this verse. "The spirit of a man will sustain him in sickness, but who can bear a broken spirit?" Yeah, I think we just really have to look at people and say, okay, they've got an infirmity. This day, this very day, my wife had cancer surgery. And whenever you hear the word cancer and so forth, she went through that. It was minor, but nevertheless, she had that. And so we could be praying for the surgery to go well and heal up and all that. And that's all good. But some folks go through spirit crushing experiences over a long period of time. Just a few days ago, we had a young pastor that was killed in an automobile accident. Don't you think his family, his young wife and his children left behind, his father, his mother, his church, all of that, they need support and encouragement on the inner man. So why not pray for the inner man? Let me tell you why oftentimes we don't, is because we'll start our prayer meetings by saying something like this. Does anybody have any requests? And guess what? They do, but most of their requests are for the outer man. And so then we don't get to the inner man where we say, well, We've got young Christians that need to grow. We've got Christians that fight addictions that need to be freed. We have Christians who are discouraged because of reversal in circumstances, and so there's a need. So I'm saying to you that one of the things I think you could do to really bring life, purpose, and encouragement to your prayer meeting is start with praying for the inner man first. I wrote this down. When we do this, this allows us to participate with God's work in the transformation process. So it's not enough for us to just be well in our bodies. We need to be transformed in our spirit. You know, if you have a tendency to be a worrywart, you need to be transformed from that, right? And so we could tell, well, this is a Christian that's struggling with pornography or he's struggling with drugs or something. But what about the worrywart or the angry person? And sometimes we will look for the wounds in the body and pray for that, be concerned, all good. But there's a place, I think, to start with praying for the inner man. And I finished it like this. When we focus on the spirit of man and claim the promises of God, we become actual partakers of the divine nature. And Peter says those partakers are those that claim those promises, bring them to the inside, and make them real in their lives. Now, I just want to close. There's so much more. You can get this book. Love for you to have this book. It's on Amazon. It's a lot of places. If you'll get a hold of us, we'll be glad to make sure you get it. But I just want to share with you right from Ephesians chapter 3. I'm going to give you a list of 6 things as to why this is so important. Number 1, it's important to the heathen. You know, let's suppose you're at the gym and you're angry, and the lost people are watching you be angry because you think you got shorted or something. That's not a good witness. So it's important to the heathen that they see you with an excellent spirit. It's important to the angels. And when you read this is Ephesians 3:10. When I first read it, it blew my mind. I said, is this right? I had to check it out for sure. But do you know that principalities and powers are watching the church and how we behave? And when they see us behave in the power of the resurrection, they say, we're cooked. Jesus is alive, and we see it in these people. It's important to the person involved. You could ask them, yep, I'm getting well, but my spirit is so good. We have a man, no kidding, that's terminal in our church. But you know what he's doing? He's making plans to get all of his caregivers and their families in church on Sunday so they can hear the gospel. Wow. What is that? That's a testimony to the inner strength of Jesus. It's important to the family of God. Isn't it better to go to a church that's joyful instead of griping at each other? I mean, true? Yeah. It's important to Jesus. You know, when we're fussing and griping and drama queens and kings, I'm sorry, guys, Jesus is not comfortable there. We grieve his spirit when we live like that. And then it's important to the children. Oh, I'm a big fan of kids seeing happy parents and joyful parents, truthful parents, parents that go through hardship without constant complaining. And so when you look at that list, the heathen, the angels, the person involved, the family of God, Jesus, and the children, why not pray for the inner man? Well, that's an idea. I'd love for you to put it into practice. If you have any questions, you can call us and let us know. Check out our website. We have an email place where you can send an email, ask questions. We're on board to give you help. Okay? God bless. Okay, so we are doing the prayer lists and so forth. Our prayer playlists. And so you're working on them. Send them to Rob. He takes them from there.
Yep.
And we'll have them for years to come for people who want to go into.
Just so you know, I don't just send it to Rob. I record it. I edit it for anything that we mess up on, or I cough and interrupt things. Then I take it and create a title card for it, and I use the free editor in the new app that he told me about, and I copy all the text, and I use the text then to um, make a summary of it for Facebook and for YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I produce a video and I post it to Facebook and YouTube. And then Rob has an account on our YouTube account, and so he can access the files there,
Mm-hmm.
pick them up, and then run them through the program called CapCut, and cut them into smaller little bite-sized shorts.
CapCut.
Uh-huh.
So glad you guys are along. It's
I'm
your
happy
turn.
to help.
It's your turn to pray.
It is.